Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Tuesday, January the 17th. The year is 2023. Let's talk trading. When not to trade, part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Yes, it was a time of time of rest. I think that we all need to go and do. But unfortunately, well, we'll talk about why we shouldn't trade sometimes. But yeah, I purposely went away for a week for just to get away, after the holiday season. Brought the grandkids with us, and it was supposed to be a good time of fun and enjoyment, and it was. We had a lot of fun with the grandkids, but sometimes, I got a couple of things that I've noticed that, and one of these things it's these things that but just because you know it doesn't mean you follow it. And I've made the decision I'm going to follow this one a little bit closer, and that is that when you go away and you've dedicated that time for rest and relaxation, don't bring the trading screen with you. Don't just don't do it. You're on vacation. Your brain, your mind, and needs the time off sometimes to recuperate. It's sort of like you can't you can't go and run 24/7. You just like you need night's sleep. Well, sometimes you need a holiday in there as just to go and break down. So that would be my first rule, in terms of when not to trade. If you realize that, hey, we're getting to a point where, you've been at it for, 3, 6 months, whatever that number is for you, you have to figure that out on your own. And you know that you're run down, you're tired. You go to bed and you see charts, you wake up seeing charts. Probably means that there's, it's time to maybe take a break, get a fresh, whatever. And go do something. I'm not saying not do anything, mental, don't cut your brain off completely, but maybe focus on something else. I don't know, go by the lake and read Thoreau or something. I don't know, but just do something different, just to rejuvenate yourself a little bit. And it's sort of like, why do we trade? We claim we trade because we want to make money, make a living, be able to go and better our lives. Well, here's a reality check for every one of them. I'm speaking to myself probably more than anybody else that may be listening to this, and that is that sometimes you do got to stop and smell the roses, as the expression goes. You do need to go and pull over to the side and just enjoy the beauty of what's around you. And, you had just made a comment about a meeting that you were at, Avery, that you asked in the meeting, what's your idea of where this year is going to end. And I think the you used that somebody in the meeting said was bleak. Well, even in the bleakest of times, there's some things that are out there that are beautiful. Focus on those things for a little bit. Enjoy those things. And I think we'll have a better perspective on trading. So that would be my first tip. The second tip in terms of when not to trade would have to be, if you got something that's going on in your life, something that's really, really traumatic. Either word. I combine two of them together there, but if it's something that's dramatic that's going on in your life, I don't know what it could be. You just lost a job, you just lost a close person, somebody who is a very close loved one, passes on, or somebody gets hurt and is in the hospital or something like that. Take a break, and the reason why is because you just, you're just not thinking clearly. You're not doing things the way you should, and you're going to make mistakes. And worse than that, you're probably going to compound mistakes. And here's the reality check. I didn't do either of those last week when I was on supposed holiday. I traded, and the first day, it did okay. You know, I did okay. It was like, oh yay, oh, that's good. I'm glad I brought the equipment with me. But then something happened, you know, in my family. It was rather traumatic, and I went and traded the next day anyway, and I shouldn't have, you know, and you know I blew a lot of money, you know, because I just made mistake after mistake. Because you know, and the funny thing, I think Tierra, I even admitted to you where I went and said something along the lines of, you know, I went and was went to trade to go take my mind off of what was going on in life, and reality is that it didn't happen. You know, I was trading, but I was constantly thinking about what was going on, you know, in the exterior of the door, the trading door, you know, and it just it messed things up, you know, and the worst thing about it was I went back at it the second day, and then I had another horrific day. And then I go back and I look at my charts and I look at my trades, and it's like, you know, I spent the weekend looking at all that and just doing some self-analysis as to what I had done. And it's like, why would you ever go and trade? Why would you? You know, it's just so blatantly obvious that I broke rule after rule. And the reason why is because, you know, the reality is when you're under stress like that, what's going to happen is that you're going to go and make mistakes. You're not going to see things. And it was just so obvious. And I know that there's some area hindsight involved, so, you know, don't re on me too badly for that. But the reality is given no reason, you know, for me to be trading. You know, so like, yeah, I think everybody out there knows that I don't like to trade against the hourly candle. And all my losses were against the hourly candle. You know, and it's sort of like, that's like rule one for me. Now, do I take trades against the hourly candle? Sure I do. Okay, but what I do is I limit my losses on those trades because I know that it's an iffy trade. Meaning, I'll go and take a loss, but I'll take it to a pip loss. You know, now here I was going and taking, you know, 5, 6, 7 pip loss on trades, you know, against the hourly candle. But what were you thinking? What, you know, and I can't come and blame it on the market and say that I took a trade and the market went and dropped 20 pips on me. You know, no, that's not what happened. It's, you know, I shouldn't have been in trade, but if I was, you know, by the way, the news just came out because I just saw the spike or it's about to come out, one or the other.
Yeah, it's about to come out.
You know, but, you know, you just got to be careful, you know, and if you see those things going on in your life, walk away. It's better to go, you know, what's rule number one, you know, for me?
Preserve capital.
Preserve capital. You can preserve capital very well if you're sitting out there and you're, you know, you're making, you know, stupid decisions. Now, of course, you know, you could have the market go in your direction, but more times than not, at least I found in my short trading career, you know, that when there's something big going on, until you go and simulate that into you, you know, what happens is it goes, you know, I make bad decision after bad decision. So, you know, and that doesn't mean that, like, you got some stuff going on in your life, it's a long-term thing. That doesn't mean you just stop trading. What that means is you got to go and take care of yourself psychologically, you know, get yourself into a better headspace, get to the point where, you know, yeah, it's going on, I know it's going on, but it's not this constant, you know, drone on your brain that, you know, is constantly wearing you down. You know, you're just dealing with it, you know. So as an example, let's say you're going into this trading thing because you lost a job and you see this is a real good potential for your family, you know, for going and replacing that job. And very first, you know, you should be learning that you shouldn't be trading immediately. You should be learning and getting used to that. Hey, I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to go and, you know, get ready for work, and getting on the bus or whatever your mode of transport is to go and to get someplace. You know, get used to the idea that, hey, I got a new life. You know, everything has changed, and get used to that new life. And then you can start, you know, moving on from there. So those would be my two big ones that I would say in terms of precautionary tales anyway.
Well, you left one out too. When you said when you went away, your internet was kind of spotty or
Oh
something.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, thank you. Anyway, yeah, that was the other thing that happened to me last week. Here I am trading. I got stuff going against me, and my internet was spotty. Just the in the where I was staying at was just basically just call it non-existent. Yeah, you made a connection, but you couldn't do anything with it. And then so I was trading off of my phone, which I don't like to do anyway. And it was just, it was just, doing crazy stuff. And I started doing crazy stuff. I should have said, hey, just don't do it. And I did. And it was funny because when I left, and I looked at my charts, there were gaps here, there, and everywhere on the 1 minute chart. I came back, base and let the data reload. And when the data reloaded, it was amazing. There weren't any gaps anymore. That wasn't the broker fixing stuff. It was my connection fixing stuff because, I wasn't getting proper data across, so I wasn't seeing things properly. So, again, if you notice that your internet is just not working properly, take some time off. Wait for your internet to go settle out. And that's also why I have, I do this full time. And so, not only can I afford to do this, but I have to do this. But what I do is I actually have two abilities to go. Let's say if one of my providers drops out, a backup plan, and I can go onto that second provider and get internet that way. And the first one is as I happen to have, I'm lucky enough to have broadband, and then my second provider is actually for my phone. But what is great about my phone, for whatever reason, I've got really great internet set for my phone, and I'll just hotspot my phone. But have that second option there if you're going to trade, and even if you're not going to trade, just knowing that you've got that second option there, so that you get out of your trades and get flat, so you don't go and take a hit. And that's generally speaking. If my broadband goes down, that's just one of my rules. If my broadband goes down, basically I just immediately go flat because, now I can trade off of my phone, but what if the phone now goes down? Now I'm in really bad shape. I'm sitting there in a trade. I don't know what it's doing. What if I go just place the trade and I didn't have time to put my TP and my stop loss in yet, and then I lose it. Now I'm in a bad situation. I got a trade that's open out there. What am I supposed to do? Now I use an offshore broker. Am I supposed to go and call into the middle of Europe someplace and try to, get them to go and close my trade? Maybe they don't even speak the language I speak. Good luck with that.
Yeah. So those are your three biggies then. When not to trade.
Yep, exactly. And notice that all three of them come back to that same adage again, which is preserve capital, and everything is based around that one line. It's like preserve capital at all costs, preserve capital. And because the thing is, as long as you got money in the bank, you can make money. The moment you lose all your money in the bank, you can't make money anymore. You're done. You're out of the game. So, it's type of thing. It's more important to preserve capital than it is to make money.
Yeah.
And the reason is because eventually what will happen is, if you got a good solid trading plan, a good solid methodology, you'll eventually make money off of it.
Yeah. So, fellow traders, there's Walmal's take on when not to trade. So I hope between my take yesterday and his take today that you may have picked up at least one tidbit that will help you, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.